Rachel with Altpress. I'm here with Tim from Rise Against.
How we doing?
It's your hometown.
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
How does Riot Fest compare to like a typical Chicago hometown show?
There's nothing like Riot Fest, and there was never anything like Riot Fest before Riot Fest. You know, this is all new. We never had anything like this growing up here in Chicago. If I'm in town, and even if we're not playing, I'm always here. They do a great job with the lineup. It really is like we've done a lot of festivals in 20 years, and this really is one of the best. You know.
Sure. How do you find any cool vegan food stands?
I haven't been out there yet.
You haven't been out there yet?
Do you have any recommendations or anything?
No, I don't. I haven't really been out there either. We've been kind of stuck back here.
Okay. I still gotta get out there today.
Yeah. What about in general? What's your favorite vegan recipe?
I would say that I don't cook, and so what I do is I find the good places in the city that I'm in. You know.
Yeah.
Here it's like classics like Chicago diner. Chicago has been a town where we're known for our meat and our portions and everything like that. But there's more and more amazing vegetarian places to pop up, you know, and vegan places to pop up here all the time because it's a foodie town. You know, people like to eat here, you know, so whether that's meat or non-meat, you know, there's great stuff.
When you're traveling, how do you stick to that vegan diet? Is it challenging or is there plenty of places to pick from?
It's really easy, I mean, because a band like us plays big cities, and big cities are always on the cutting edge of like really good vegan food. And now like veganism has become so much more mainstream that now, it used to be where you had to go to an exclusively vegan restaurant to get a good meal.
Yeah.
Now I can just go to a good restaurant, you know, and there'll be a vegan something, or the chef will have something they're making that's like vegan or vegetarian and healthy. So it really is like, it's hardly a challenge at all. It's only when we end up like at a truck stop in some rural area, then it gets a little trickier.
Which you probably don't want to get food from anyway.
And you don't want to get either anyway, yeah.
So you guys have certainly influenced lots of artists, you know, sonically, I'm sure, but have you ever heard any stories from fans that say that you've influenced them, whether politically or, you know, in that aspect?
Yeah, it's amazing to hear what people get out of the songs, what they take from them, and the choices they make in their lives and how it shapes their lives. Okay, I'll tell you a story. I was here in Chicago, not far from here. We rehearsed around here, and I went into a coffee shop, and I was standing behind a guy in line, and he had a Rise Against logo on the back of his leg, and I was looking in line, I could see it, I was like, oh, that's really cool. But he turned around, he saw me, he like figured out who I was, and then he told me, he goes, listen, I just need you to know that like I heard your music like 10 years ago. I decided to go to law school to do civil rights law, and he was from somewhere else. He was from like Atlanta or something. And he was like, and now I'm here in Chicago and I'm fighting against corrupt police officers and police abuse. And just, he blew my mind just saying that. I was thinking, so a song I wrote, like I'm from Chicago, and a song I wrote here in Chicago found somebody in like Georgia, and that person would one day, after, you know, going through this rigorous education, pick up and move to my town to help make my town a better place, to help improve this place. It just was like, I've heard a lot of stories that are like along those lines, you know, and each one is like important for its own reason, and that one hit me so hard. It was just like, I don't know, it was emotional. It was like, this is incredible, dude. This is like a full circle.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's definitely like a full circle thing.
Yeah.
So do you feel like looking at 2020 that the community can really change things for the better where we are right now?
Yeah, I think that the last election was a wake-up call that people can't sit at home. You know what I mean? I know it seems like that it wasn't the people, it's almost like the people that voted for Trump are not the ones that put him in office. It's people that just sat home and didn't vote at all, you know? Because I truly believe that this country that we live in is a better place than what our president symbolizes. Like, he's an expression of the worst of American culture. You know, he's an extreme expression of the racist parts of our society. A lot of lies that politicians have told citizens, like things like trickle-down economics, which isn't a thing, you know. And so I truly believe that what the last election did was remind us in a dark way that like we have to be a part of democracy, and if you're not part of democracy, then you get what you deserve, you know. And Trump, in a way, was what we deserve for not showing up at the elections.
Yeah, that definitely makes a lot of sense. How do you think music plays into sort of inspiring that change? You know, using platforms to sort of, as a wake-up call in a way, I guess.
So music can be easily dismissed as just kind of this entertainment or this part of your life when you're young. But like, what's important to remember is that like studies will show that music is more important to a young person and more influential to them then oftentimes their family, their religion, their best friends, their schools, teachers, it's more influential on how they view the world than any of that. You know, which, saying that, like, it's a huge statement I just said. You know, it's like I just dismissed like your parents and school and like all your friends. But studies will show that music is that important to you. And it's only when I think about how important music was to me that it makes sense. I'm like, yeah, you know what? It shaped my life, you know? And so if you have that, if you're making music for people and you're making it at a really important time of their life, there's some responsibility there, and it can be something that be harnessed for inspiration and action. There was a lot of important stuff happening, and the scene taught me a lot about the way the world works. It was like my secondary education.
Sure. Is there any song that stands out to you in a way that, you know, perhaps like saved your life or really impacted you?
That's a good question. I can't think of a specific song that did that, you know, but bands like Fugazi really turned on some light bulbs in my head.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Hey, my pleasure. Yeah.
Well, I'm stoked to see your set later.
For sure, yeah.
Thank you.